We're going to add one more property to our list of properties that we use to solve equations, and it's called the multiplication property for equality. And it says that if A and B are equal, then so are A times C and B times C, as long as C is not equal to 0. Or the equation A equal B and the equation AC equal BC always have the same solution set. So you're free to multiply both sides of an equation by any non-zero number you want, any time you want, and you'll always be sure that you haven't changed the solution set. Let's see how we can use this property. I have 1/2 x is equal to -3. I want to isolate x on the left side, just like I was doing in the previous lesson. But this time I have 1/2 times x, and what I want is 1 times x. So instead of adding the opposite, what I'm going to do is multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 1/2 is 2. So 2 times 1/2 x, and then 2 times -3. So that's the multiplication property, and it says I'm free to multiply both sides by 2 anytime I want, and it won't change the solution set. But what it will do is it will give me 1x right here on the left side, and so I will have solved this equation. Now, 2 times 1/2 x is the same as 2 times 1/2 times x by the associative property of multiplication. The left side is -6. 2 times 1/2 is 1 times x is equal to -6. And that's the same as saying x is equal to -6. So when I have a number other than 1 in front of x here, I can solve for x by multiplying both sides by the reciprocal of that number. Here's another example. I have 3a is equal to 48. I don't want 3a, I want 1a. So what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 3. So 1/3 times 3a on the left side, and then 1/3 times 48 on the right side. So I've multiplied both sides by 1/3. 1/3 times 3a is going to be 1a. I won't show that associative property. I'll just write down the result. Instead of regrouping 1/3 and 3 together, I'll just show you the result. 1a. 1/3 of 48 is 16. And then I have 1 times a is 16, so that's the same as a is equal to 16. So there's my solution, and that's true. If I substitute 16 for a in this equation, 3 times 16 is 48, so that is the solution to that equation. I found it by using the multiplication property for equality. Here's another one. -3/5 x is equal to 9/10. I'll multiply both sides by the reciprocal of -3/5, which is -5/3. -5/3 times -3/5 x, and -5/3 times 9/10. -5/3 times -3/5 is 1 times x is x. And then, let's see, I'll divide out the common factor 5 there, and I'll divide out the common factor 3 here. So I end up with -3/2 for that solution. So I solved that equation like I did the first couple of equations by multiplying both sides through by the reciprocal of this number in front of x. Here's another example. This time I have -4a plus 3 on the left side of the equation, and on the right side I have -9. I need to get rid of both the 3 and the -4. The 3 is added to the variable, the -4 is multiplied times the variable. I get rid of addition with addition and multiplication with multiplication. I want to do the addition first, though. -4a plus 3 plus -3 is equal to -9 plus -3. So I start with my addition property, adding -3 to both sides. -4a plus 0 is -4a, and -9 plus -3 is -12. Next, I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of -4. So -1/4 times -4a is the same as -1/4 times -12. As long as I multiply, whatever I multiply the left side by, I multiply the right side by that exact same thing. I know I'll never change that solution set. Now, -1/4 times -4 is 1 times a is a. So I end up with a on the left side, that's what I wanted, and -1/4 times -12, a negative times a negative will be positive, and 1/4 of 12 is 3. So I end up with a equal 3. Now we can just check this solution real quickly. If I take a equal 3 and replace it for a in the original equation, I have -4 times 3, which is -12, plus positive 3 is -9. So I end up with -9 equal -9. Sure enough, that is the solution to the equation. Here's one more problem. 4x minus 7 plus 2x equals 9 minus 10. So first of all, I'm going to simplify each side as much as possible. So let me simplify this. 4x plus 2x is 6x minus 7 on the left side. And then 9 subtract 10 is negative 1 on the right side. I'm going to get rid of my negative 7 first with addition. 6x minus 7 plus 7 is equal to negative 1 plus 7. So whatever I add to one side, I add the same thing to the other side. That's the addition property. 6x plus negative 7 plus positive 7 is 6x plus 0, which is 6x. And on the right side, I have 6. I'll multiply both sides by 1/6, but I think you can see the solution is going to be x is equal to 1. Sometimes on this last step right here, we can actually see the solution. 6 times 1 is equal to 6, so I know that's my solution. If I substitute x equal 1 back into my original equation here and simplify both sides, you'll see I'll get a true statement. So there's a look at using that multiplication property of equality, and also a couple of problems where we use both the addition property and the multiplication property.